and Android.
Now at 5, floodwaters in parts of the 4 states washing out roads, trapping drivers, and forcing emergency crews into action. Plus, a Joplin staple is celebrating 60 years of serving up Mexican flavor and community tradition. And
the Congressional Budget Office says President Trump's spending bill will add trillions to the deficit. I'm Erica Brown at the White House with more on the projection and Trump's call with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The water rushing here at the Short Creek Spillway in Jasper County, just one example of the rising water levels across the 4 states. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Authorities are encouraging the community to be cautious and aware of flooding taking place around the area. In Missouri, flooding has washed out some roads. It caused one driver in Racine to become trapped in their car. The Seneca Area Fire District was able to safely get that driver to dry land. Elsewhere in southwest Missouri, some roads are barricaded and many are impassable. Northeast Oklahoma has already begun to experience some flooding of its own, and communities are preparing for even more. The city of Miami has placed barricades in the areas that most frequently flood, such as at Riverside Park. The Neosho River is still rising, with the National Weather Service expecting it to reach its highest level tomorrow. The National Weather Service projects will begin to recede until Sunday. Officials had made some dramatic water rescues in Wichita. Crews from the Wichita Fire Department used a raft to reach a stranded driver. And this has become a common scene over the past day and a half. Firefighters there have received more than 100 calls of submerged vehicles since midday yesterday. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for a first look at the weather.
Well, taking a look out 7th and Rangeline, we've got mostly cloudy skies tonight and a few isolated showers throughout the day. We are still dealing with some flood warnings across the area along the Neosho River, up in Allen County and Woodson County in Kansas. Now, we're also still under a flood watch south of I-44 in southwestern Missouri. Now that's going to continue because we are still seeing ongoing rain showers over the next weekend and even thunderstorms as well. Now so far we've seen about 6 inches of rain just south of Joplin, about 2 inches in Pittsburgh. Oswego, about 5 inches of rain. Independence, 3.5. And then up in the Yates Center, about 4 inches of rain. And that's just to begin all of the rain chances that we're going to see for the rest of the week. Now, like I said, through the rest of the day today, we do have clear skies, and again through tomorrow as well. But we do have ongoing rain chances coming up Thursday night. I'm going to have those details coming up.
See you soon. The public is getting a look at improvements that will be made to the US69 Corridor in Crawford County, Kansas. Kansas Department of Transportation is hosting a series of public meetings showing and explaining final concepts for the plan and laying out which ones are already funded. The plan covers an 18-mile stretch of the highway from the Arma area south to the Crawford-Cherokee County line, which includes the bypass around Pittsburgh. A public meeting was held in Frontenac earlier today. Another is underway right now at Pittsburgh High School. That one ends at 6. The presentations include this simulated aerial view of the future stretch of highway. There are 15 intersections in the plan, and changes include entrance consolidations, a number of roundabouts, and turning lanes. The KDOT presentation lays out which intersections are low, medium, and high priority. Funding is already secured for many of the projects. Work is set to begin on various projects from 2026 to 2029. KDOT will hold 2 more public meetings tomorrow. One will be at the Homer Cole Center in Pittsburgh from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The other will be at Northeast High School in Arma from 4 to 6. Then a virtual open house will be held online on Friday from 11 a.m. until noon. You can get a link to that meeting, a link to the animated simulation of the entire project, and more information at KOAMnewsnow.com. Joplin's first Mexican restaurant is marking its 60th anniversary. Casa Montes started in 1965 on 17th and Rangeline, when Rangeline was a 2-lane highway. Since then, the restaurant has survived a fire, a tornado, and of course, a global pandemic. Locals say it's more than just a restaurant. It's a place where neighbors turn into family.
It's just real authentic food. It tastes different than all the other restaurants in town.
My favorite is the chimney. I really love the chimichanga, and then the cheese dip.
The owners say the secret to staying in business so long is consistency, like keeping the same recipes. President Trump has had a busy day trying to convince holdout Republican senators to support his budget bill. He's also had a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin about Russia's war with Ukraine. Erica Brown has more details now from the White House.
President Trump is meeting with some Senate Republicans Wednesday who still have questions about his massive spending package. Some Republican senators have criticized what the president calls his one big beautiful bill, calling for steeper spending cuts.
We've got to sharpen the pencil when we go to the White House today. Well, I'm sure we'll have a discussion about ways we have to do it. But the House had a good start, but we're not done yet.
The Congressional Budget Office released a new estimate projecting the bill would add $2.4 trillion to the deficit over the next 10 years. It also says cuts to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act would result in nearly 11 million people losing health insurance over the next decade.
There's a cold, harsh reality that this bill is just tax breaks for the ultra-wealthy, paid for by gutting health care for up to 16 million Americans.
The White House has pushed back on a previous warning from the CBO that the bill adds to the deficit.
This is an institution in our country that has become partisan and political, and we are very confident in our own economic analyses of this bill.
President Trump also spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin for more than an hour Wednesday as his administration pushes for a peace deal to end the war in Ukraine. Trump said he had a good conversation with Putin, but not one that would lead to immediate peace. He says Putin stressed that Russia will respond to Ukraine's latest drone attack on Russian airfields. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump added that Putin offered to help in discussions with Iran about ending that country's nuclear program. Still ahead, the lessons learned when seeing is not believing.
You can't always believe what you see, but scientists are using visual illusions to help understand how the mind works. I'm Bradley Blackburn, and I'll show you how.
And a new tool in the fight against measles, how wastewater could help detect outbreaks before symptoms.
Stanton Optical, easy's our thing.
Topping today's Health Watch, as measles cases continue to rise across the U.S., researchers are using sewage wastewater to track the virus. It's a testing effort similar to what scientists did during the COVID pandemic. Sewage was tested for virus particles that helped identify early signs of increasing transmission. Now, this first national wastewater monitoring aims to detect measles where people are infected. Cases could potentially be identified days before the symptoms show up or anyone goes to the doctor. The new program is available for use at dozens of wastewater treatment plants in 40 states. Health experts hope that early detection along with highly effective vaccines will help curb the current uptick in cases. They say the eyes are the window into the soul, but new research shows how our visual system can reveal the capabilities of our brains. Bradley Blackburn shows how eye-popping illusions are unlocking secrets.
At the Museum of Illusions in New York, around every corner, it's a wonder for the eyes. There's a vase that's a face, art that moves with you, and a room that seems to go on forever.
You're just mesmerized. You don't know where to look or where to turn.
It's a fun house for our perception, built for the TikTok age.
But these visual tricks are windows into how the mind works, and they're fascinating to scientists too.
The brain uses all the information it can get to figure out what's in front of it.
Dr. Martin Doherty with England's University of East Anglia has studied one particular puzzle for years, called the Ebbinghaus illusion.
The two orange circles, which would you say is the larger?
The one with the smaller blue circles. The orange looks larger.
It looks larger, but of course, as you'd expect, they're actually the same size. The illusion works by using context to mess around with your perception.
He long thought that everyone saw it the same way, but in a new study, he and his colleagues found radiologists who have years of training to ignore visual distractions actually see the image differently and accurately.
According to the theory, that shouldn't happen, shouldn't be possible. And there's no previous research has shown that you can learn to see through them.
It's evidence of the deep abilities of a trained brain. But for most of us, illusions are proof of our limitations.
When you see these visuals, it's just like your brain just starts going crazy.
And a reminder, you can't always believe what you see. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And this is interesting. Research shows that young children are better at solving some visual illusions, but that ability disappears as they age. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we've got a fun fact about snakes.
And we're not quite out of the woods yet with
Topping today's Consumer Watch, it's very likely you or someone you know has had their Facebook account hacked at some point. One woman says someone stole her Facebook account and then used it to try to steal from others. Josh Sierdowitz has that story.
Even on a beautiful day.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Sherry Evans still feels like she's got a cloud hanging over her.
What really gets me the most is the feeling of being violated, the feeling of my memories being stolen from me.
She brought out some pictures she still has around the house because her digital memories are locked away. On a Facebook account she's now been locked out of since February.
Some crazy person is violating all of my personal material and videos and pictures and messages and
to make matters worse, the scammer not only stole her account, but turned it against her, setting up a fake sale to try to swindle her friends with this post, claiming they were moving her uncle into a care facility, so they needed to sell his stuff.
All of a sudden I was getting phone calls asking, can they buy the Jeep? One of the cheer moms wanted to know if she could have the Peloton. How much was I charging for it?
This is a classic spear phishing scheme.
Rob Dovidio is a cybersecurity expert with Drexel University.
It's very targeted. It's taking advantage of that trust that's within your network. You as someone who's connected to me on Facebook, you're going to trust that I'm not going to put you in harm's way. And that's what these criminals are taking advantage of.
He says the number one thing you can do to protect your account is set up two-factor authentication, which adds another verification step to the login process. It's something Sherry admits she did not have set up, but she does plan to add it if she can ever get her account back. She says she has tried several times but cannot get through to a real person at Meta for help.
I hope if one person sees this, they will do some of the things that I didn't do. Like I never changed my Facebook password. I never thought about it.
Meta didn't get back to me either, but at least 40 attorneys general have demanded the company take immediate action on what they said is a dramatic spike in hacked accounts and a lack of response to help users. Meta responded that it invests heavily in its review teams and has specialized detection tools to identify compromised accounts. I'm Josh Siedorowicz, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Sherry says she's grateful that as far as she knows, none of her friends have fallen for that fake sale. Our pet vet on call and a final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the stock market roller coaster ride can make saving for retirement nerve-wracking. How do you weather the ups and downs? Then on KOAM News at 6, a plea deal in a southeast Kansas shooting death, plus the suspension of the Carl Junction mayor. And sports reporter John Dales profiles a returning Pitt State softball star. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. As you're out and about in the 4 states, you're more likely to see them this time of year. Snakes have emerged from their winter dormancy, known as brumation, and they're especially active during late spring and early summer, right about now. That brings us to today's topic for our Pet Vet on Call. She has some fun facts for us about snakes.
Okay, most people can't even imagine anything fun about having a snake around, but there are some good snakes. One of them is the king snake. The king snake in our area is black with speckles of white, stripes of yellow, and they are good to have around. They're not aggressive towards human, they're not venomous, they're constrictors, and they eat rodents and lizards and other snakes, even venomous snakes like your copperheads and your rattlesnakes and your cottonmouths. So next time you see a black snake, which is a king snake, leave it alone. Don't be so quick to go for the hoe. They're good to have around.
I know you still don't like snakes. I don't either, but they can be good to have around. We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to PetVet at KOAMTV.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers different questions or brings us a fun fact like this every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Now let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we have this male Labrador Retriever. His name is Cheetos. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we introduced this 6-year-old male cat, kind of a Cheeto color. The society says he embodies sincerity. His name is Cactus Cooler. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Don't know the story behind that name, Cactus Cooler. I'm sure it's a good one. The weather looking a little bit better?
Well, we've got a lull in between our next chance of severe weather, so we're going to have a decent day tomorrow, starting off with some pretty dense fog, but another round of potential severe weather Thursday night and into Friday morning.
Well, you'll keep us informed, I know. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 6. Let's make it a great evening.